Hello everyone, GL1 here, and today I'm going to talk about something very different. Today I'm going to talk about Leonardo da Vinci, and I have this book, The Notebooks of Leonardo da Vinci. It was first published in 1939. This is another publishing from 1956, so that's how old this book is, and as you can see, it's in good condition. Something interesting about it is that the author of the book, Edward McCurdy, dedicated this book to His Most Gracious Majesty King George VI, who was who served from 1936 to 1952. Now, Leonardo da Vinci, he lived to 67, and that's going to be important because of some of the things I go over with him. And he lived from 1452 to 1519. All right. So in the 67 years that he was alive, he studied so many things. And I think that if you think about your own lives, as incredible as the depth of which he went to the subjects he studied, I think we all can come up with quite a big list ourselves. Now, he studied philosophy or wrote about philosophy, human anatomy, comparative anatomy with animals, natural history, which is the history of the earth, human proportions, and that's important because he was an artist. He studied medicine and optics and sound, astronomy, botany, geology, the atmosphere, flight and flying machines, and all of this came to play in the things that he created, and that these are some of the examples of what he created. He also studied movement and weight, flight and flying machines, math, water, warfare, which is what these are for, painting, sculpture, casting, architecture, music, fables, and jokes, and prophecy. Now, you may know that he's famous for the painting of the Mona Lisa, The Last Supper, and the Vitruvian Man, which is a guy that is nude, and he is sort of transposed onto himself in two different positions to show the proportion of the human body. So he was, quite an artist. Now, these here are sculptures. They are silver kinetic sculptures, kinetic meaning to move. And they're valued at $200 to $400, depending on the wear. These have no wear. All they've done is sit in a glass cabinet. And they're sort of toys. So, all right, so take a look at the detail on this. All right, so this is Leonardo da Vinci's idea for a tank. So a person would get inside this, maybe more than one person actually, and these are guns all around. So you could look through here, and then you could fire in all different angles. Now, there was no self-propulsion at this point, so this probably would be towed by a horse into an area of battle, maybe several of them. And then you could see that it's armored, so that if people were shooting at it, or arrows or rocks or swords, that they'd have a really hard time penetrating this without being shot by one of these very powerful guns that looks like an elephant gun. Or certainly you could put different kind of shot, maybe like buckshot in there, something that would, for ducks, to shoot many pellets at once. So that's your tank, and then that rolls along like that. And I think these are a little obvious, right? So take a look at this dangerous thing. Now, you have wheels that meant to dig into the ground, but also you don't want to get run over by these. You have a blade here, so that can also, be dangerous to anyone getting close. This would be pulled by maybe a team of horses through a field of warriors. And then on the other side, this wheel has a gear. And this is very similar to the gear toys that I introduced you to in episode 175. So if you look at 175, actually, these really are similar gears. So this would be pulled along, and then this would spin. Or maybe even if you pushed it. But I think it's really going to be pulled. So you tow it behind horses, and then, watch out, and it'd be going all over the place, maybe just taking out soldiers all over the place. Nasty, messy business, I know. All right, here's another thing that very similar. And look, again, you have a wheel that is a gear, and that's turning another gear that turns. These heavy, these might be lead or steel spheres, and like a mace, and bap, 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 bap. So you would take that through a battlefield, and, well, you'd cause a lot of problems for those that get in the way of this. And just think, this is stuff Leonardo da Vinci came up with, in the 1500s. Putting his mind to the problem of warfare. He put his mind to all those problems, and there's more. That was actually not all the things that are in this book. It's really all his notes. And then, so we have here, they didn't have a machine gun back then, but you could see this is multiple guns, just all lined up. You could prime all of them. And this is a neat feature here. So this here, it turns just a little bit. You can see that. And the idea of this is to raise and lower your mobile, multiple gun firing, like a cannon, right? You might have seen cannons in warfare where they pull them along, actually with horses in World War I. And then they had half tracks, and jeeps would pull them. And then, so this you could, you'd turn this crank and you'd aim. The guns would raise and lower so that you could estimate the distance between your target. And again, always the spiky wheels. But with a spiky wheel, you don't have to worry about whether it's going to grip or slip, right? It's going to grip. So that's just something really different on Leonardo da Vinci. If you're interested, go ahead and look up Leonardo da Vinci, and you can find out a lot of things for yourself. And he was in the Renaissance. He's one of the Renaissance people who just studied all kinds of things and was capable and knowledgeable about all kinds of things. And certainly we need Renaissance people today too, to combine all the different things that we know about in the world and come up with solutions that integrate all the knowledge that we have together. And that's really what computers are doing, and AI. So, all right, I will see you soon. Take care.